lovelies. Yeah, my new coffee mug. Coffee is a lifestyle. Hashtag true dat. So, I'm not sure exactly what category you would put today's video in. Maybe spiritual life hack. But what I want to talk about today is two things that people often feel they must choose between, but that in real life go beautifully together. Okay? So that concept has been covered a few times in Coffee with Dawni videos. It's like, I call it false choices. So when you feel like you have to choose between this or this, sometimes that's not true. Sometimes it's actually the combination of the two that is the most workable, the most sustainable, and the most empowering. So I believe that to be true with what we're going to talk about today. This is where so often when either our preferences are being pushed against or really we truly feel like we aren't being treated well by somebody. Any type of abuse, emotional, physical, 100%, spiritual, psychological abuse, okay, just manipulation. So what do? Now, I did a video, I think it was like in the first 2 weeks of Coffee with Dawni, called Being a Clear Mirror. So look that up if you want to see more, go deeper into this. But we often choose or think we need to choose between either I lay down very firm boundaries here, usually not so much in a, kind or calm way, or I just totally understand, like I get it, they're wounded, they're struggling, they had a hard childhood. They don't really know how to love. They can't help it. They have a mental illness. They're doing the best they can, right? All the things. I'm going to do a little side note here. This may not be politically correct, but I just have to say it. Those are mostly things I hear women say about the men they love. I just want to say I very, very rarely hear that from men about the women they love. So that's an interesting paradigm right there. Maybe that's a whole other video. But those kind of justifications or rationalizations that we put out there to excuse bad behavior especially from our partners, but not just our partners, our children, our parents, our sister-in-law, our ex, whatever it is, okay? So you've got the two false choices. I can either be very, don't you ever talk to me like that again, maybe even cut them off, or we can be very forgiving, but what we actually mean is rationalizing, justifying, and putting up with poor behavior. So I want to scoot these two choices all the way together until they actually blend together in something very powerful, which is healthy, loving boundaries. Okay? Healthy, loving boundaries. So what would that look like? Well, that would look like standing in a space for your, being a stand for your own wellness. You're saying, so the way that you're engaging with me right now does not work for me. And we talked about that a little bit in the past in the relationship category, but I want you to think about this not just with your romantic partners. I want you to think about this with your children, your parents, your friends, everybody, your coworkers, okay? Your clients, your patients, everybody that you come in contact with. If the way that you're being treated is not a yes for you, you absolutely have the right to speak up about this, and you can do it coming from love and set your boundary. The reason I really wanted to bring this up today is because what I see is people saying, well, I can't stop loving them. I can't just be mean. I'm gonna love them no matter what. Well, great. Then you stand equally firm and committed to how much you love them, care about them, want what's best for them, as you do about how much you love yourself, care about yourself, want what's best for yourself. You do not have to choose between those two things. Now, maybe there are times when you do, okay? And that's another video. We're going to cut people out completely. That does happen sometimes, but that's not really what I'm speaking to today. You're not going to cut your 8-year-old out of your life because she's being disrespectful to you. But what you do have a right to do is, I love you very much, and it does not work for me to be talked to like that. It does not work for me to be treated like that. What is possible for us if we stand in love equally love for ourselves and love for the other, right? So we have this, do unto others as you would have them do unto you, or love thy neighbor as thyself. This is what in my studies, in my belief system that's come from many years of studies, that's what I think that means. And I'm not saying that I understand the depth of the scriptures or anything. I'm just saying that when we do that, when we come from love, that does not mean we come from weakness. We love not only ourselves enough to stand in our power and in our functional, healthy behaviors, but we love the people in our lives enough to actually ask the same of them. To actually really invite them to be the healthiest, most functional, and most loving version of themselves when they are in our space. So what in the moment has maybe felt to you like you had to choose between two oppositional things can be a beautiful union of energies when they come together. So, there's also another video I've done, which is how to have healthy relationships with everyone in your life. So I guess in a way, this is sort of a combination of those two videos and a reminder, really a loving reminder that it is in bringing those energies together that we get to remind our own inner selves that we've got our own backs, that we're actually not going to allow people to be awful to us and to be abusive to us. And that at the same time, we are going to come from love, come from compassion, still be empathetic, still care deeply. Okay? They're not mutually exclusive. So I just want you to just kind of take this one in for a minute. It may be things that you've heard before. I don't want you to block it out just because you've heard it before. Because unless you're doing this one perfectly, there's room to grow here. I know there's room to grow for me. So if you can stay present to this one, it really changes the way you interact. We have these interactions throughout the day, right? Where something is hitting against us in a way that does not work for us. And then what? Do we get quiet and pouty about it? Do we get really aggressive and reactive and triggered by it and create more drama? By the way, getting pouty and quiet about it also creates more drama, right? So let's just be honest about that one. Or do we just kindly and clearly speak our truths, stand up for ourselves, at the same time as coming from love? I hope this resonates for you. I hope you can see what I mean here. And in this sharing, I would love to hear what your thoughts are about this, maybe even a specific incident that happens to you a lot and maybe that you can try this with, a time you have tried it. I want to hear back from you. You know how much I would love for you to be sitting here in this room with me. And so we could be really having this conversation. So your feedback is the way that we have this conversation, right? All right, you guys, I love you. Keep this one in mind. Keep this one in your tool belt. Have a wonderful day. May your coffee be strong and your life be blessed. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. And if you would be interested in working with me further, you can check out DawniAngel.com. I would love to come speak to your group, come to your business to do a training, be on your podcast, my personal favorite, or even work with you one-on-one.